Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, or whenever you're watching this video. My name is Sudhamani, and I help entrepreneurs use technology effectively so that they can have time, financial, and personal freedom. Today, I've got Dene Stuart, who is a leadership expert. Before I bring him on the screen, I would like to read out his bio, very short one. And we are going live on 4 different platforms: Facebook page, that's on my Facebook page, LinkedIn, YouTube, and also Periscope. If you're anywhere on these platforms, please do comment. I can only see the Facebook and YouTube comments on my screen. Due to bandwidth, I am I won't be accessing any other equipment near me so that the interview is not interrupted. So bear with me. I will answer all your comments, and if it's been directed to Dean, I will pass it on to Dean as well to answer it for you. Dean has generously accepted to give his book for free for 5 people who are commenting and also joining our live stream. After that, you have to send Dean, Dean, Dean a message for the special offer for his book. It's exceptional book. I am planning to read one shortly. I have not read it, I must say. So this is Dean's bio. Dene Stuart, the founder of Exceptional Leader Academy and award-winning speaker and professional speaking coach. His passion is to help people to unleash their hidden potential so that they can achieve their professional and personal ambitions. He has written 3 books and the power of yes about the power of mind, spoken at events such as International Women's Day, the Women's Economic Forum, Chambers of Commerce, and many other platforms. He also has trained 500 business owners and senior managers from all corners of the globe in the last 5 years. I'm going to bring Dean in. Hopefully, the technology is going to work out fine. Hey, Dean, how are you?
Hey, Sudha.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thanks for having me on your show. I'm really looking forward to
You're
it.
Oh, I am looking forward to it asking you questions as well. It's more of leadership is one of those. It's been talked about a lot. However, it's seems to be enigma for many. Are we leader? Are we not leader?
Yeah.
How do we handle these situations? It's because they're all learning from each other. There are few examples, wrong examples, I must say, of how leaders shouldn't be, but there are many good examples as well. So you're going to demystify the leadership for us, especially the personal leadership, I think.
Well, I hope so.
Tell me, Dean, tell me about how did you end up being a leadership expert, and what is your journey like? What's your story? Or I
Sure.
would rather say journey, but many people seem to be stories seem to be the go
Yeah,
over.
I think there's different words, isn't there? Some people like the word journey, and some people like the word story. I don't think it matters because it's all the same
Yes.
thing, really.
Yeah.
Um, so my story or my journey is this: I've had a 20-year corporate career.
Yeah.
And I think you hit on some really important points around leadership when you were just introducing the subject. And that is that most people learn about leadership from the people they work with or they work for. And of course, what they learn is only as good as what those people can teach them.
Yeah.
And so I sort of fell into a bit of that trap. And I did very well in my corporate career. I ended up with some very senior leadership roles, managing and leading a lot of people with very sort of, multi-million pound revenue responsibilities and all the sorts of things that go with, big responsibilities. If I tell you, in that 20-year career, I had, as far as I can remember, 1 day of leadership training. And to be honest, what I can remember of that, it wasn't very good. So through my career, I've been made redundant twice. The first time was in 2001, just after the atrocity of the Twin Towers, where the company I was working for, the investors just took fright at that time, and they literally withdrew the money, closed the business down. So that was the first time. That put me into a period when I then went into sort of self-employment and running what I call lifestyle businesses with the lady who is now my ex-wife. And there's a bit of a clue in there, really, isn't there? They say that you shouldn't work with your spouse.
I shouldn't be laughing. I shouldn't be laughing at
No,
this
it's all right.
answer of
It's okay.
someone.
Well, it is a bit of a
I kind of
case
get
study.
the story of it.
Yeah, well,
That's
that's
why.
why, I like to. It's not that I laugh about it, but I like to sort of think there is a lesson in there. I mean, I really wanted to be able to create businesses with my wife, and it just didn't work out, and that was part of life. As you say, it's part of the journey. So that's why I include it in my story. And then the second time I was made redundant was in 2012. So about 8 years ago, almost to the month. And that was the point when I decided I needed to do something different, because I'd been in the world of newspapers. And as we all know, the world of newspapers is very challenging. It's been in decline for some time now. And certainly in my last job, I was managing decline as opposed to promoting growth. And for anybody who's ever done that, they will know that's incredibly draining energetically. You get energy from growth and excitement, not from having to tell people they're being made redundant all the time. So when I came out of that, I thought, well, I want to do something different. I want to do something positive. What can I do that is going to be positive in the world? And the thing that came to me over a period of time was just exactly what I had learned about leadership. Because what I then did, I went on a sort of path of growth and learning and discovery. And what I realized was that the vast majority of leadership programs that were out there just did not cover leadership from the perspective that I believed was relevant. So I don't know whether you're still there, Sudha.
I'm there.
Hi, cool. Sorry, the screen went blank, so I wondered whether we were still going. Sorry about that. Okay, good. So because I had this experience that the leadership programs are out there were really quite academic, and obviously there was a lot of research behind them, but to me they didn't really deal with the big issues of leadership. And again, this comes back. I think that you've got an instinctive feel for this, because again, some of those points you were making right at the beginning when you were introducing the subject are bang on the money. And that is that the way in which we show up as leaders stems very much from how we see ourselves. It stems from our identity. It stems from what we believe a leader should look like. Now, that may or may not be a good way to actually lead people.
Yes.
And it may or may not lead to you getting the results you want.
Yeah, it is also about, many people talk about self-awareness, especially when you're a leader. And up next to communication skills comes self-awareness. I always believe that the self-awareness should be the first part of it, then the communication skills should be the
Yeah.
second. But irrespective where the order of these two things should be, self-awareness, people talk about self-awareness, but most of the time when you're in a situation where you have to either deliver a very disappointing news, or whether you are pressured under doing something which you don't believe that you should be doing.
Yeah.
So that's when self-awareness goes AWOL, and you have to bring in your bad experiences, good experiences, and all of that, and lead yourself in the time of distress. how do you how do you see this? How do you think people should be looking at this in as a whole,
Yeah. Good
as a
question.
manager, as a parent? I think a parent is a leader on
Absolutely.
its on their own, because they
Absolutely.
are leading their kids and leading the family.
Yeah.
So how do you know, how do you bring that self-awareness? How do you
Okay.
be confident even when everything around you is just falling apart? As you said, you've been through that journey of you don't want to tell people you're already down, that I am in between. My way of
Sure.
saying is I'm in between contracts.
Okay. Yes, I get that.
That's
I
a
think
posh
that's
way of unemployment.
well, exactly, exactly. We all have our ways of sort of shrouding, what we don't want to say to people. But how I'd answer that is this: that the basic principle is you can't lead anybody else unless you can lead yourself.
Yeah.
And one of the things, we are very, very astute. We have a natural sense of when somebody is asking us to do something and it's not congruent with who they are as a person.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it comes out in different ways. So for some people, they might come across as being a leader without confidence. For some people, they have an inner feeling of not of lacking confidence, but in not wanting to show that, they then come across as being aggressive.
Yeah.
So there's all sorts of ways in which the identity that we have of ourselves as a leader can affect the way we behave, the way we show up, and therefore the way in which other people that we are leading perceive us and then react to us. And so the line that I use is that 95% of leaders don't actually get the results they want. They end up managing the unintended consequences
Yeah.
of their unconscious behaviors.
Yeah. that's
And
that's the hardest bit, isn't it? How do you know that it's unconscious, because it's not conscious, as the word says?
absolutely,
How do you hindsight is one of the things which you do, because you've already done. How do you repair that? Most of the time it comes as a hindsight, or post analysis
yeah.
of, oh, I've done this because of my own, I've been the block. So how do you overcome that?
Well, I think you've got to, first of all, you've got to accept that leadership is a skill like any other skill. I mean,
Yeah.
and you can learn it and you can develop it. There is still a sort of a feeling out there that people are natural born leaders. And I just don't believe that.
Yeah, I
I
don't
think there
either.
are some people who have a natural tendency to be leaders.
Yeah.
Yes. But my personal belief is this, that everybody has the potential to be an exceptional leader.
Yeah.
Um, that's why I call what I do the Exceptional Leader Academy, because my objective is to bring that exceptional leadership out of people that I believe is inherently within them.
Yes.
And so how do you get at this idea of self-awareness when a lot of what we do is unconscious habit?
Yes.
Well, as you rightly say, for most people, it comes as a hindsight when something's gone badly wrong.
Yeah.
And I've got to be honest, that's really what happened to me,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know? So all the time my career was on the upward trajectory.
Yeah.
Was I thinking about this stuff? Not really.
No.
I was just enjoying that part of it. I had quite a glamorous job, a good salary, the car, the house, everything that went with it. Why should I have to worry about it? Yeah.
Yes.
But then when things started to go wrong, because I didn't have that self-awareness, I didn't have any tools that I needed to recover my position. So it
Yes.
was only when things really collapsed and I realized I had to do something about it that I did.
Mm-hmm.
And the phrase that I came across when I went on the sort of discovery journey that I went on was that people don't change
Yeah.
until the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change.
Yeah.
And to me,
Awesome.
that's been a really powerful lesson. And again, it's part of why I do what I do now, because my objective is to try and support people, help people, whatever the correct term is, not to wait until that moment.
Yeah.
So the other side of getting ahead of um, this issue of self-awareness is to seek out somebody as a mentor, as a coach. To now that could be a physical relationship, in terms of actually being with somebody, or it could be reading books, it could be looking at webinars, it could be going to seminars. There's all sorts of ways in which you can get outside influences to expand your awareness, but it only starts when you recognize that leadership is a set of skills that you
Yeah.
can learn and that you want to learn, and that it's important to learn.
Yeah. That's I think many of us kind of understand that in a way, especially in the when we are in this entrepreneurial journey, but it doesn't happen that much in the corporate environment. um, they they talk about coaching, they talk about mentoring and all of that, but as entrepreneurs, we seem to have that idea of, yes, we do need a mentor, we do need a coach who could guide us through the times which we feel that we are not confident. Sometimes someone says, oh, you are confident, even though you feel like totally opposite inside
Absolutely.
you.
Yes.
And someone trusts you to give that opportunity. Someone trust. Yesterday I was reading out a post by Cheryl. I think you know her,
I know
right?
Cheryl, yeah.
So she's written about post of how Andy gave her so one of her mentor gave her the opportunity to and trusted her to do what she's doing now. uh, that reminded me that there are few people in our lives in the past, even if we have not taken that into account. Sometimes parents would have done it and they've done more damages than good in many people's life. uh, I mean, there's no point in blaming them, because that's how they learned from their parents or
Correct.
their society at that time. So the point here is, how do they find the right mentor to guide them in their journey of personal leadership, and also and then that projects out as a thought leader, and that project as an exceptional leader. How does
Mm.
that journey goes? As
Well,
you
I'd love to.
said, you've got to guide you or lead you first
Yeah,
before you can lead others.
I'd love to say that there was an easy answer to that, Sudha, but there isn't.
I was
It's try.
hoping for
Yeah,
the easy
it's.
answer.
Do you know what? It's trial and error.
Yes.
And I referred earlier to the fact that I'd only had one day's leadership training in that 20-year corporate experience of mine,
Yeah.
or should I say, formal experience of training rather than the informal type. And I've invested since my second redundancy in 2012
Mm-hmm.
a huge amount of money,
Yeah.
tens of thousands of pounds, hundreds, if not thousands, of hours of investment in different training programs,
Yeah.
seminars, webinars, all the things I was saying about. Certainly reading,
Yeah.
hundreds of books in that time, in covering all aspects of thinking and leadership and whatever
Mm-hmm.
could be described as remotely connected to the subject matter.
Yeah.
And I think you have to find the person that you resonate with, or the theories that you resonate with. And because I couldn't quite find the theories and the principles that absolutely nailed it for me, that's why I ended up creating my own program.
Mm.
However, having said that, there are mentors that I've worked with through that period who were right for me at that time.
Mm.
And it's only by investing in those and being willing to pay to be in their circle,
Yeah.
to be open and to have access to their learning, their knowledge, their influence, that expanded my thinking, that enabled me then to start thinking about life and the world differently.
Yeah.
Because, and this is a phrase that one of those mentors gave me, and I think it's really valuable, and that is this: you can't see the picture when you're in the frame.
Yeah. It's
And
thinking outside the box, and everyone talks about it. No one understand thinking what thinking outside the box means.
well, the thing is, you can't think outside of your own box,
Yeah.
because your box is created out of your experience of life.
Yes. Yeah.
Therefore, your experience tells you, hey, this is the way the world works. This is what's right. This is what's wrong. These are the things I should do. These are the things I shouldn't do. And you can't think outside that. You need something or someone else to
Yeah.
give you a different perspective. So that only comes from, as I've said earlier, reading, listening to podcasts, going on to webinars, going to seminars, investing in coaches or mentors. You've got to have that outside influence. Otherwise, you're going to stay stuck within the sphere of what you know to be true.
Yeah.
And that will
That is a
always be limiting.
yeah, that's one of the things. And I always said when I moved to UK about 20 years ago, that gave me a different perspective. My friends who are still in India, even they watch movies, they watch television shows and all of that, but they don't understand what is the cultural difference
Yeah.
we have. Most of the time, movies and TV shows, they glamorize or they go to the other end of it. There
Yes.
is no in between. We cannot see ourselves in these situations because they're overly done. So it is about getting out and finding out, speaking to people and learning about their culture and their way of doing things. And
Yeah.
you learn. We are those type of people who watch. uh, for some, monkey seem to be a derogatory term, but I don't see that way. If it is, I'm really sorry, people. Monkey see, monkey do. So that's always been, we've come from monkeys or chimps, so we've got the same, that very basic understanding of watch other people and do things in our life
Yeah.
or lead our life in a way. Thank you very much. If you had to give three advices, I know you keep saying, yeah, you surround yourself with best people, so,
Yeah.
go out, speak to people, watch webinars and listen to podcasts and all of that. Out with of, if you had to give three tips
Yeah.
for personal leadership, or what you think people should be doing, that would be good.
Okay, cool. So the first one, and I give, what I'm about to say is what I give to all the clients who work with me. Okay, so this is,
Yeah.
for me, this is valuable stuff. So I hope
Yeah.
everyone's appreciating it, right? The first
Of
is
course. Yeah.
stop using the word try.
Yeah.
Take it out of your vocabulary.
Mm.
Because when you use the word try, you're giving yourself permission to fail, to
Fail.
not, to actually not achieve the thing that you said you were going to achieve. So when you
Yeah.
say, so for example, one of the things that very often happens, and you might have this experience, and some of the people watching might have had this experience. You meet somebody, you think it might be good to meet up, and they'll say, let's try and meet up. Have you had that?
Yeah, most of the time.
And you guarantee that the people who say, let's try and meet up, it's code for, yeah, okay, nice to meet you, but I don't really want to do anything more with this.
Yeah.
But what they don't want to do is come out front and be blunt about it.
Yep.
So the word try is registered in our minds as a get out clause.
Yeah, it's that's one thing I don't know. Ladies use this a lot, and I try my best not to use it anyway. There you go. I said try.
Absolutely. See, now you're aware, you're going to be amazed at how often you use it. It happens every time.
So it's just, oh, I'm just asking this question, or I would like to just do this, or you either do or not do
Yeah.
certain things. There is no trying. Yeah, gray areas are always there. I'm not saying it is not there. But if you're going to make a progress in something, yeah, I will use that word and try to. I'm saying that again. I'll abolish that word from
Yeah.
my vocabulary. That is a very good thing to say.
So
Okay.
the thing,
Second.
there's an important thing that goes with it, and that is this. You make your intention to do something,
Yeah.
but what you've then got to also have with that is the ability to learn from the results you get. So when you commit to do something, you're either going to get the result you want or you're going to get a result you didn't want.
Yeah.
And that's the difference between using the word trying and not trying. If you can accept that you might get a result you don't want and can learn from that result, that's what's going to move you forward.
Yeah.
So that's the importance of not using the word try. The second thing is another three-letter word.
Yeah.
Because we're always faced with challenges. When we're on this, and you were talking about entrepreneurs, particularly as entrepreneurs, we always have to take on things and challenges that we haven't done before.
Yeah.
And very often, we can be in a career within a corporate. You've had a corporate career. I've had a corporate career. We can have, let's call them opportunities that come our way, where people perhaps suggest it might be an idea if we take on some more responsibility that we've never done before, and we don't know how to do it. So we can get into a bit of a panicky mindset over that.
Yeah.
So the second piece of advice I'd give is to start using a three-letter word, which is the word yet. So when you get into a challenging situation that you haven't experienced before, very often the thought that comes into mind is, I don't know how to do this.
Yeah.
So just add the word yet onto that.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do this yet.
Yeah.
Completely changes the mindset, and it enables you to then start thinking about what are the things I need to learn to be able to do this. It gets you out of panic mode and puts you into learning mode.
Wow, brilliant. So the first word is try, abolishing try, and second word is adding yet. And what is the third word? Or third
So
piece?
the third is I'm borrowing this, if you like, from a lady called Carol Dweck. I don't know if you've come across Carol Dweck. So
No.
she is a psychologist. I think she's a professor at the University of Pennsylvania or Harvard or one of the top American business schools anyway. She
Yeah.
wrote a book called Mindset.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And through her research, she basically classified two types of mindset:
Yeah.
the fixed mindset and the learning mindset, or the growth mindset.
Okay.
And so my last tip is learn about the growth mindset. Understand the difference between a growth mindset and a fixed mindset.
Okay. So I think it's when you stop using try and also using yet, this is a natural follow on. I think yet is you're opening yourself to learn something, isn't it? You're
Yeah.
opening yourself to grow. So this is more of an additional in agile methodology, which we use in IT a lot,
Yeah.
is where we have got supporting modules. That's one of the things. Even though we don't write that big documents which we used to in other methodologies, we've got
Okay.
supporting modules. So this
Right.
one would be the growth mindset, would be the supporting modules for not using try and also using yet
Yeah, I like that. That's a nice way
regularly
of
in our
putting it.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that way we've got, oh, that's good. You've given the full capsule, which people could just put it in their mouth and swallow it, because it works fine. um Thank you very much, and I would like to talk to you about your book,
Okay.
which I've advertised it, saying a few people who have commented, so we've got to send the book to them.
Okay, good.
And I know a couple of the girls who was on the YouTube as well.
Well, I've
So
got a
what
copy
I
here, so
am,
I can just put it up so people can see what it looks like. Oh, it's all come
oh,
out
brilliant.
reverse. So
Okay, Thinking Revolution. What is that book about, and what can they learn?
well, it's hopefully it is what it says on the cover. It is about a thinking revolution because I said earlier, well, I didn't actually get to this point. For me, leadership is about one thing. It's about getting results.
Yeah,
So there's lots of different words out there at the moment. You know, people talk about authentic leadership or servant leadership or directive leadership.
yeah,
To me, it doesn't matter because if you're a leader, it's about getting results.
yeah,
But if you think about it, what you want is you want to be getting results from people who want to stay working with you
yeah,
so that the results not only sustainable, but they then compound and become exponential.
yeah,
And that you're in this sort of not only from a growth mindset point of view, but from a business growth point of view or a
yeah.
career growth point of view.
Uh-huh.
And so the thinking revolution is based on the idea that the results you get come from the way you think.
Yeah,
So if you're not getting the results that you want,
yeah,
you've got two options. You can blame everything about you, your circumstances. You can blame the people you work with. You can blame the company you work for. You can blame the government for the state of the economy. You can blame whatever's going on in the weather because of the hurricane that's caused the ship to be diverted. So, there's all sorts of things that you can blame if
yeah,
you aren't getting the results you want, in
yeah.
which case you will feel totally disempowered to do anything about it because
Yes.
the cause of your results you're putting outside of yourself.
Yeah,
So the thinking revolution is about this. It's about the idea of taking ownership and responsibility
yeah.
in the truest sense of the word, responsibility
Mm-hmm.
for the results you get.
Brilliant. Brilliant. So Menaka doesn't want it because she already has your book,
Hi, Manika. It's good to
signed.
see you here.
Yes, signed copy of your book, and
Yeah.
she recommends it highly. So we might have to give that book to someone else, and see how it goes. And I'll direct them to you
Okay.
when they start asking me for it. And lastly, I've got few almost trivia questions.
Okay.
I would say people told me don't ask personal questions because it's an interview. You should, but I am going to just not do that. As I
Okay.
am,
That's
I am
cool.
one of those people who breaks the rules. It doesn't matter for me. Whatever comes to my mind. That's why I don't have set questions to send it to
That's cool for me. I like that.
experts. I want that. I don't want it to be prepared. When you come, I want it to flow naturally. Anyway, that's me. What is the best? Sorry, do you have any pets?
Well, that's an interesting question. So, uh, I moved out of the family home about 10 years ago
Uh-huh.
when the marriage broke down. And we have a pet dog
Okay.
called Jasper, which is a
Oh,
rescue dog, a
yeah.
long haired Jack Russell,
Oh.
and I miss him crazy. You know, he stayed with my ex because the children were with the ex,
Yes, yeah.
and so I always loved it when they used to come over and bring him for a Sunday lunch or something like that. And sometimes I'd get to look after him when they went on holiday, and
Yes.
I always loved that. And but unfortunately, I don't get to see him very much, and he's getting on a bit now. So
Uh-huh.
you know,
Yeah.
but yeah, so I've had dogs in my life. My mum and dad always liked having dogs, so I've grown up with
Yes.
dogs, and I'm a dog person.
Yeah, I am a dog person as well. Not that I hate cats, but I am more dog person because dogs have been in our lives in childhood and
Mm.
others for a long time. Okay, how would you describe yourself as a teenager? 3 words.
3 words as a teenager. Okay. Um, Fluffy haired. My hair. That's why I keep my hair short, because when it grows, and it still grows out like that.
Yeah.
So that used to drive me crazy. Um, People used to describe me as being very serious, and they still do. So I guess I've got to describe myself as serious, but I don't feel serious inside. But it's
Yes.
obviously how I come across. So I guess I've got to sort of accept that. Um, and also sporty. I used to like playing sport. Well, I
Oh,
still like playing
cute.
sport, but I just have to play different sports now than I did when I was a teenager.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I've been named as very serious as well many times, but I don't behave more serious. I like to me, I'm not serious. I'm more jovial and
Yeah.
funny person. What is on your iPod? It's more of like what is on your phone music list playlist, which you go back to again and again.
Okay.
It doesn't
I
have to
don't
be
have
English.
I don't have a phone. I'm not one of these people who has music on my phone,
Yeah.
but I do have it on my laptop. Well, YouTube and maybe
Yes.
Spotify, something like that. I have got an incredibly wide range of music. I love everything from classical through to
Brilliant.
quite funky jazz and everything in between. I guess my passion is the guitar. I love
Oh, good.
anything guitar, classical, Spanish guitar, jazz guitar, blues guitar. My heroes are people like Eric Clapton, Carlos Santana, Jose Feliciano, John Williams, Julian Bream,
Yeah.
the classical players. Yeah, if it was one particular style that I keep going back to, it would be that.
Wow. So do you play guitar? It's just a follow up from you like guitar, so
Yeah, I play for my own amazement.
yeah, I play every musical instrument, but people won't be able to listen to it. At least they're tone deaf. That's what I say. But they say that to me.
Absolutely.
Do you, if you had one superpower,
Yeah.
what would that be?
Oh, now you're asking. I need a little bit of thinking time on that one, otherwise I could get myself into serious trouble. Um, the one that immediately comes to mind is mind reading. But then I'm
Okay.
thinking, do I really want to know what everyone's thinking? So I think probably not. Um, I think it would be the ability to fly.
Ah, that's good. That's good. I think the same. I need to somehow I do get what they think in a way,
Yeah.
and behave by the body language and all of that. But I don't like to be. I don't like that superpower of mind reading. I don't want to.
No.
Ignorance is bliss.
I think sometimes it is.
Yes. Thank you very much for your time. We've gone. I was thinking of 30 minutes. It's gone to 40 minutes. I do
Oh,
talk a
wow.
lot as well.
Cool.
Thank you very much. We had few people who've dropped in, and Menaka was there for a while, and one of my guests who is going to be there next week. He talks about live stream and stuff. Oh God, if I could pronounce his name, that'd be
No way.
Marco Noah. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was there.
Cool.
So Mark was there,
But if
and
you pass me the
it was
details,
good.
I'll get the books off to them.
Okay, brilliant.
All right.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I really, really appreciate your time.
No, and I
Thanks for
appreciate being
coming, for
invited.
testing the tech as well. I know you had an interview or you had a call and you had to come for a few minutes. I really appreciate that. Have a great day, rest of the
And
day,
you?
and rest of the week as well. And I'll speak to you soon. I look
Thanks a
forward
lot,
to reading
Sudha.
your book as well. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye. That's you, people. Dean Stewart, leadership expert, giving you tips on how to lead your life. I'm not saying in a philosophical term of leading our life, leading ourselves to be the best leader we could, and also empowering others to be that leader whom you've inspired to grow out as a leader as well. If I'm talking I don't know, I'm not making any sense to myself at the last statement, but anyway, if you understand, please drop a comment saying, oh, I understand what you're meaning to say. Anyway, thank you very much, and thank you to all who dropped in to this live show. I really appreciate your time, and it is not easy. This is a longer format as well. I hope you've learned something, and if you've got any suggestion whatsoever for me, please do pass it on. If you feel personal messaging would be better, please do send me personal messaging. Otherwise, until the next time, bye. But before I go, I've got a humble request. Please do subscribe to my YouTube channel if you have not already. If you don't know, the channel ID is Sudha Speaks Tech. And also, if you're on LinkedIn, send me a friend request. Please do put a personalized message. I prefer that. Thank you very much. And until I see you next, enjoy yourself. Bye for now.